My name is Ben. I play guitar and I sing in TIGERS, and we are going on tour in Australia in August with Sly Withers and Susie. And it's been a couple of years since we've been down there. And we're just really, really excited. Really
Beautiful.
looking
Thanks for
forward to it.
joining us today, man.
Thanks for having me.
No way. So, as you say, Tigers Jaw hit Australia in August for a run of shows with Sly Withers, starting on August 11th in Melbourne before travelling through Sydney, Brisbane, and Adelaide, and finishing in Fremantle on August the 20th. So, it's not far away, man. Are you packed and ready to go?
Getting, yeah. There's a lot to like get ready for an international tour. I feel like mentally I'm almost there, and yeah, just figuring out what to bring because right now it's very, very hot in Philadelphia. So uh, we get to jump into winter for this tour. So got to figure out what to pack.
Hey, you mentioned the mental side of things, mate. Like, how much of that's involved in the tour? Like, getting yourself mentally prepared for a trip away from home with strange people. Like, is it a big thing?
Well, I think early on in tour when we were 18, 19, 20 years old, it was a lot easier to just pick up and leave and, not really worry about it too much. As we get to our 30s, it's more like there's more stability at home. It's a little bit tougher to make sure kind of everything's in order. So yeah, it's just like the mental preparation is a little bit more intense as we get a little bit older, but just as much excitement, but there's just more responsibilities, I guess, at home to get in order before we take off for a couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned it's been a few years since you've been here, mate. So what can fans expect from your show this time around?
Well, we've released a new album and a new EP in the time since we've been down there. So really excited to play some new songs that we haven't played in Australia before. But it'll be a nice mix of old songs and new songs. I think we're playing about an hour set for pretty much all the shows. So yeah, it'll be a nice mix. And for the two of the shows are side fest performances where we'll do a full band performance one day and an acoustic performance the next day. And it'll be myself and Brianna doing the acoustic performances. So those we like to mix up, throw some wild card old songs in the mix, and so that would be fun to mix it up as well.
I bet you will be. So the acoustic shows are going to have different set lists to the band shows?
Yeah, we usually mix it up a little bit, so that'll be fun.
Oh. So for those unfamiliar with Tigers Jaw, yourself and Adam started the band in Pennsylvania back in 2005 while you were still at high school, mate. So what were the early days of the band like? Would have been pretty crazy?
The earliest days, it was, yeah, just myself and Adam, like making songs. We had a couple other people in the mix at the very beginning, but sometimes we would just play shows, the two of us, or record stuff, just the two of us. It was a very fun time. We would just like write songs, play weird covers, or try to figure out how to record ourselves. We would like play as many shows as we could. So we would, if there was a show offered to us and the two of us could do it, we would take it, and then we would try to like ask our friends to fill in different things. So initially I was the drummer, but if our friend who was a drummer was around to fill in for our show, I would switch over to bass. If our friend who played bass was also around, I would switch to second guitar. So it was pretty fluid in the early days, but it was so much fun. And there were pretty vibrant music scene in Scranton where we grew up. A lot of really cool like indie rock bands, a lot of cool like hardcore heavy bands as well, and some great punk bands. So every show mixed bill. We got to work with a lot of people and build a little music scene together. So it was a fun and exciting time. And then it just was really crazy how it kept expanding further and further outside of Scranton, and started doing stuff internationally, and which is down the line leads us here where we get to come back to Australia for the third time. A place I never thought that I would visit, let alone get to play music in.
That's great, man. So, but back when you started, man, like we say, you were at high school. So, was it more for fun and chicks back then, mate, or did you always want something more out of music?
Oh, we just did it. It was fun. I had an older cousin who played bass for a band called the Swims, and they were signed to this local Scranton label called Prison Jazz. And our biggest goal was to get something put on this local label that mostly did, CDs, and they did a couple of 7 inches, but it was really a small label, but that was like our huge goal at the time was to play as many shows as we could and release music on Prison Jazz. It was, very much just about doing what's fun.
You sort of touched on this, man, but you had your origins in the local DIY Scranton punk scene, mate. So, how did that period of your life shape the band's future?
I mean, it definitely has made me who I am. Scranton's a small place, but being able to travel all over really kind of makes the world seem a whole lot smaller in a cool way. And you get more of an appreciation for how other people live in other places. And I'm really grateful. I've met so many important people in life through playing in this band. In sort of like an indirect way, it led to meeting my wife. The people that we get to go with and play music with are some of the most important people in my life. So, like those early days really, really shaped the next 15 so years of my life. So yeah, just really grateful that we still get to do this and still get to travel and meet people and play music.
Yeah. You're the only original constant member left in the band, mate. So, how has your vision for Tiger's Jaw changed over the years?
Well, I mean, I would say that Brianna joined the band maybe a year into, so she feels just as much of an original member as me. So we've always kind of been on the same page about the vision, and it hasn't changed too much since the early days. Just that we've had more opportunities, but we do things that we love to do, and we follow things that feel fulfilling and feel right to us. We do band at the pace that we want to do the band, and we travel as when we feel inspired, we make music. Just like just a surprisingly healthy relationship that we have with doing the band. Like it never feels it never feels like work, and if it feels too much like work, we pump the brakes a little bit and kind of get back to basics. And it's just a fun constant in our lives. It's something that we're lucky enough to make, some sort of living off of, but ultimately it's just this really innately fulfilling artistic thing that's almost now a part of who we are. It's been a part of our lives for so long.
So, how would you say that the band's sound has changed from your 2006 debut album "Belong to the Dead" to 2021's "I Won't Care How You Remember Me"?
All right, so "Belongs to the Dead" was very, very early on, and them and myself played everything on just the two of us, and wanted it. We were shooting for a very lo-fi sound. We recorded things through into a digital recorder, but we sent everything through a tape deck. So it had this sort of tape impression, sort of gritty sound. We also didn't really what we were doing in terms of recording, so we were kind of fumbling our way through the dark on those recordings. But it's a very special sounding record, and it was a very special time. The record since have just kept on going in terms of sound quality, and also taking more risks with songwriting, I think, and just kind of like you change as a musician as you're on the road a lot, and your playing style sort of evolves as you're touring and playing with different people and whatnot. So the group that we have now, Colin and Teddy and Mark, they've been touring with us, for 4+ years. Teddy's been with us for almost 10 years, Colin as well. So we've been really forged our sound on the road for a long time. So it's trying to like capture that when we record a really nice, lively, and powerful sounding recording that sort of reflects who we are as live musicians.
Very good, Ben. All right, well, that's all I've got for you today, mate. Thanks very much for your time. Tigers Jaws in Australia from August the 11th. So, touring around with Sly Withers. So, check them out at a show near you.